Hey guys, welcome to the first official episode of Pots, Pans, and Priscilla. I know if you follow Fathering Autism, you've seen a few of my recipes, and I know you guys have asked for more recipes, so Asa and I thought that this might be a better way to go about doing that. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, welcome. You will come to realize that I don't follow recipes, so I can't give exact measurements all the time, but we will walk you through the whole process. So for my first meal I'm making for you guys, it's one of my family's favorites, and it is 4 cheese meat stuffed shells. So here we go. So the ingredients for this are gonna be garlic, onion, ground beef. I'm using 3 pounds for this recipe. Tomato sauce. You'll notice it says no salt added. I don't normally do no salt added, but that's what they had at the grocery. So we have salt. We can add it ourselves. Diced tomatoes, all of your seasonings here, and you can kind of play around with your seasonings. If you like a certain Italian blend, you can add that. It's not gonna be like your spaghetti sauce would be though. You don't want it to be the same. So I'm gonna use parsley, rosemary, ground pepper, basil, oregano, and then I have regular black pepper. 1 egg, that's gonna be for your cheese mixture. Of course you have the shells. And then here are our cheeses that we're using. At my store, they had an Italian blend. You can use just Romano, but this has Parmesan, Asiago, and Romano. As well as mozzarella, cheddar cheese, and of course ricotta. So those are all of your ingredients. I personally think that every great dish starts with onion and garlic and then butter. This dish does not call for butter. If you watch our Fathering Autism channel, you'll see that one of our subscribers sent me some onion goggles. If you don't have some, I highly recommend them. I know they look ridiculous, but they do work. I'm gonna dice these onions. I am using 2 onions because they're small. You could use 1 large onion. Now don't be judging me on my knife skills. Last year for Christmas, Asa bought me a knife skills class. It's not their fault. It hasn't worked because I never took it. My dad said I make him nervous because I cut with my left hand because I'm left-handed. But so is my dad. But he doesn't cut with his left hand. I've got this nifty little garlic thing. I don't know what that's called. It takes the skin off. It's amazing. So you can either hold it and do it like this, or I've seen people do it on their cutting board. You're gonna use 4 cloves of garlic, and you can do multiple in here at one time. If you guys want to get any of these items, like the garlic peeler thing or these cool glasses, the link's gonna be down in the description below. Now I'm just gonna mince this garlic. I took my cool glasses off and my eyes are already burning from the onion. Time for amazingness. I'm gonna put my onion and my garlic in the pan, and we're gonna let that sweat down a little bit. I wish you guys could smell this right now. All right, the onions and garlic look perfect. So now let's add the 3 pounds of ground beef. Now you keep this hand up in the air because you don't want to touch anything now that you touched raw beef. And it reminds you. I don't know, that's what I do. Stir your ground beef a little bit. Break it up. Then you just need it to brown. So you're just going to wait for it to brown. While we're doing that, we'll make our cheese stuffing. Technical. It's technical stuff, you guys. The biggest question I have though is, are you excited? Are you so excited? Because I'm so excited about this. We're gonna go wash our hands. Our meat is brown, so now I need to take it over, strain it, and then we're gonna bring it back over here, add our sauce, tomato sauce, and then our seasonings, and then that's when it has to get happy. I added all the seasonings. I'm going to drop the temperature to about 3 and then put the lid on and let that simmer, get all those flavors going. And then we're going to add our water to our pot, let that go, and make our cheese. Ready for the fun part? The cheese sauce that we're going to put in our shells. You're going to start off with 32 ounces of ricotta, 1 egg, your Italian blend or romano if you only want romano, the entire thing, which is 6 ounces. You're not going to put the shredded cheese in just yet. You are going to mix all of this together. So I know I haven't mentioned yet, but this is not a meal that you make when you're in a hurry. If your kids are like starving, don't say, oh, well, let me whip up some stuffed shells, because that's not going to happen. This is a longer process for this meal, but it is worth it, and you will have leftovers. Now I'm going to add parsley flakes. It's really good. You know, this is also a good meal, like if someone had a baby, or if you have a new neighbor and you want to bring them a meal, or someone has an illness. It's a good meal because you can make it and then they can warm it up later. Plus they'll have a couple of days eating it. So it's good for big families. This is the meal I made for the boys club when they had the hurricane damages. This is what I chose because it feeds so many people. We got our parsley mixed in. Now we're gonna add half of our mozzarella, and then at the end, after we put it in the baking pan, we add our cheddar cheese and the rest of the mozzarella. Mix that up a little. Looks like it's ready. When our water gets up to boiling, we'll throw these shells in there. Then you let those go for 9 minutes. While we're waiting on that, we're gonna check on our meat sauce, make sure it's smelling and tasting amazing. I would do a taste test, just make sure everything tastes the way you want it to taste for your family. And if you need to add something, that's the best time to do it. And please make sure you use a clean spoon. You know, those germs. I don't eat after my family. They pick on me for it. Just use a clean spoon, please. Especially if you're taking this to someone else's house, you better be using a clean spoon. Our pasta's ready to go. So we drain that, and then you run cool water through it until it's until the pasta noodles are no longer hot. So that way you can work with them. Makes sense. You don't want to burn yourself. Your sauce is all ready to go. So I'm going to show you how we put this all together now. So first, you're going to take your sauce and put it in your pan. I'm using a 9x13 baking dish. And then I have, I'm preheating the oven. It's on 350. And once you get this all together, you're just going to bake it for about 20-25 minutes. You're just putting down a layer in your baking dish here of the meat sauce. Obviously, if you're vegetarian, the only change you would have to make is not put meat in it. And then you could have a vegetarian dish. If you have a party and you have vegetarians coming to your party, you could also make a smaller dish. I did that last year for Isaiah's theater group. I had a couple of the kids that were vegetarian, so I just did a regular sauce, and then before I added the meat, I took theirs off to the side. So it's kind of a nice dish that you can do for everybody. Obviously, vegan, you'd have to change everything. So we've got our layer of meat sauce down in our pan. Now we're going to take our shells, stuff that with the cheese, put them on top, and then we'll put another layer of meat sauce on top of that. All right, so you stuffed all your shells with your ricotta, and now you're gonna put your top layer of meat sauce on. And you're just gonna cover it. Told you it's a good dish, but it takes a while. I mean, it's gonna take you, I don't know how long I've been doing this. I would say give yourself a good hour to make this meal with prep and all the different steps involved. So it's a good like Sunday afternoon, the family's hanging out kind of meal. Now you top it with your two last cheeses, the mozzarella and the cheddar. Now you're just gonna bake it in the oven on 350 for about 20 to 25 minutes till all this cheese melts and the shells get happy with all of the stuff. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on our first show. We're gonna get cleaned up, get the family down here ready to set the table and enjoy our meal. So I hope you enjoyed it. What do y'all think? Is it good?
Very good.
Abby, is it good?
Thumbs up?
Hey.
Thumbs
Yay.
up. Good job. Good job, Ben.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is really good, Mom.